They say you never really know who's behind the screen. I learned that the hard way, on a night that started with a swipe and ended with someone trying to break into my house. Before I begin, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, like this video, and watch till the end, because the ending will truly shock you and make you think twice before opening any dating app again. I'd been single for almost a year when I downloaded a dating app again. Honestly, I didn't expect much, just a few casual chats to pass the time. But then I matched with Ethan. He was charming in a quiet kind of way. His profile picture showed him hiking in the mountains, wearing a dark green jacket. His smile, just slightly crooked. Something about it felt ... genuine. We talked for 3 days straight, long messages that went from jokes about bad coffee to deeper conversations about loneliness and trust. He seemed to understand me better than most people I knew in real life. Then, one evening, he asked if I wanted to meet in person. It was a Thursday, around 8 p.m. I hesitated, typing and deleting messages before agreeing. We decided to meet at a small diner downtown, a place I'd been to before, brightly lit, busy enough to feel safe. When I arrived, Ethan wasn't there yet. I texted him, and he replied, running a few minutes late. Order whatever you like. I'll be right there. 15 minutes passed. Then 20. The waitress came by twice to ask if I wanted to order. I said I'd wait a little longer. I was scrolling through my phone when a message popped up from him. You look beautiful in that red sweater. My stomach dropped. I looked around. The diner was fairly crowded, but I didn't see anyone who looked like him. I typed, "Where are you?" No response. I scanned the windows outside. Cars passed slowly under the flickering streetlights. Then another message came. "Don't be nervous. I like watching you before I say hi." I froze. That sick, creeping feeling crawled up my spine. I turned toward the window and saw a reflection. Someone sitting in a car across the street, headlights off, the shape of a man, phone glowing faintly in his hand. I stood up immediately, grabbed my bag, and walked toward the counter. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. The waitress noticed. "Everything okay, hun?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, just not feeling great. Can I get this to go?" As I waited for the bag, I kept glancing at the window. The car was still there, still dark. When I left, I walked in the opposite direction, pretending to check my phone. I didn't see the car move, but the moment I turned the corner, I heard an engine start. I ducked into a small convenience store a few blocks away, pretending to browse. My hands were trembling as I messaged Ethan. "You think this is funny? Stop following me." No reply. 10 minutes later, I decided to head home. My apartment was only about a 15-minute walk. I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe I overreacted. But halfway home, I started hearing the sound of slow tires behind me. Not close, not loud. Just ... there. Matching my pace. When I turned around, a dark sedan was crawling down the street. Headlights dimmed. Primera, in. I cut through a narrow alley that connected to a main street, hoping to lose whoever it was. My shoes slapped the wet pavement, echoing against the brick walls. The car didn't fall into the alley, but the sound of footsteps did. Quick, deliberate, heavy. I spun around. Nothing. The alley looked empty except for a flickering lamppost and a dumpster. I backed up slowly, then broke into a sprint again. When I finally reached my building, I fumbled with my keys, heart hammering so loud I could barely breathe. I got inside, locked the door, and leaned against it, shaking. I peeked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. I told myself to calm down. Maybe it was just coincidence. Maybe Ethan never even showed up. Maybe ... then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "You run fast." That was cute. I dropped the phone. I called my friend Lisa immediately and told her everything. She insisted I call the police. But what was I supposed to say? A guy from a dating app maybe followed me. I didn't even know his last name. That night, I barely slept. Every creak of the floorboards made me jump. Around 3 a.m., I heard something outside my apartment. A soft scraping sound near my door. I held my breath, It stopped. Then, a faint knock. Not the kind you'd use if you were visiting someone. It was deliberate. Slow. I grabbed my phone and whispered to Lisa, who was still on call. "He's here." She immediately told me to call 911, but I couldn't move. I just stood there, staring at the doorknob as it twitched. Whoever was on the other side tried turning it. I finally screamed, "I'm calling the police." The movement stopped. A few seconds later, I heard retreating footsteps down the hall, then the distant ding of the elevator. The cops came 15 minutes later. They checked the hallway, but no one was there. They said maybe it was just a prank. Maybe someone got the wrong door. But when I showed them the texts, their faces changed. The number was untraceable, a prepaid burner phone, and when they checked the security camera at the entrance, they saw a man standing in the lobby, face hidden under a hood, watching the elevator numbers move. He never entered, just waited, staring until he disappeared off camera. I deleted the app the next morning, but every night since then, I still check the peephole, because sometimes, I swear, I still hear that same slow knock. She just wanted to rent a cheap apartment for her and her daughter. But when she met the man from the listing, she realized too late that some scammers don't just take your money, they take your life. It happened to a woman named Rachel Moore. She was a 32-year-old single mother from Ohio who had recently gone through a divorce and was trying to start over. Money was tight, and after months of sleeping on her sister's couch with her 6-year-old daughter, she was desperate to find their own place. Rachel spent nights scrolling through rental ads, and one caught her eye a 2-bedroom townhouse in a nice neighborhood for only $700 a month. Way below market. The ad said the owner was moving abroad and needed someone responsible to take care of the property quickly. She messaged the number in the listing. The man's name was Alan. He replied immediately, polite and helpful, saying he could show her the house that same evening. Rachel told her sister where she was going and even shared her location before leaving, just in case. But she wasn't nervous. Alan sounded kind, even a little awkward, like someone who didn't usually talk to people. When she arrived, he was waiting in the driveway, tall, thin, dressed in a dark one. He smiled when she pulled up, waving her over. Something about that smile seemed rehearsed. He unlocked the door and showed her around. Everything looked perfect. Clean, furnished, cozy. There were even children's toys in one of the rooms, which he said belonged to the previous tenants. He told her he could give her the keys right away if she had the deposit $700 cash. She hesitated, saying she wanted to bring her daughter by to see the place first. Alan smiled again, but his tone changed slightly. "Sure," he said. "But other people are interested. I can't hold it long." Rachel promised to return the next morning with the deposit. He nodded and watched her leave. That night, she got a text from him. "If you want the house, come now. Someone else is offering full price. I can't wait till morning." It was 11:47 p.m. Her sister was already asleep, and her daughter was curled up beside her on the couch. Rachel didn't want to lose the deal, so she quietly got dressed, grabbed the envelope of cash she'd been saving for months, and drove to the address. The neighborhood was silent. The house lights were off, except for one faint glow from inside, like a candle flickering behind a curtain. She texted Alan. "I'm here," he replied almost instantly. "Come around back. The front lock is jammed." She hesitated, then followed the narrow path along the side of the house. The air felt cold, heavier than before. Behind the house, she saw the back door slightly open. Inside, it was dark, except for that same dim light from the living room. She stepped in and called out, "Alan." No response. She took another step. Her shoes creaked against the wooden floor. The smell hit her next. Not rot, but something chemical, like cleaning solution mixed with copper. "Alan," she called again. Then a sound, soft, rhythmic, breathing. Coming from the stairs. Rachel froze. The breathing grew louder, heavier, closer. A shape moved in the darkness, tall, hunched, dragging one foot slightly. She turned to run, but the door slammed shut behind her. Her phone light flickered on just long enough to reveal what was on the walls, framed photos, but not of families, of women. Dozens of them. Different faces, but each picture had one thing in common. Every woman looked terrified. She screamed, pounding on the back door, but it wouldn't budge. The sound of slow footsteps descended the stairs. "Alan?" she cried again, but the voice that answered was different. Low, raspy. "Alan's not here." Rachel ran to the front, tripping over something on the floor. When she looked down, she saw a purse, and beside it, a phone, both coated in dried, dark stains. The footsteps were only a few feet away now. She yanked at the front door handle, stuck. She hit it again and again until it suddenly gave way, and she stumbled out into the cold night. She sprinted to her car, shaking, sobbing. Her keys slipped from her hands twice before she got inside. As she turned the ignition, she glanced back toward the house and saw him in the window. A pale face, thin smile, holding something small in his hand. Her necklace. She drove straight to the police station. Officers went to the address within an hour, but the house was empty. No furniture, no photos, nothing. And there was no record of a man named Alan living there. The property had been vacant for 6 months. But that wasn't the worst part. A week later, Rachel's sister got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a small plastic bag with Rachel's necklace inside, and a note written in neat handwriting. "You left this behind. Don't worry. I'll find you again when the next place is ready." The police couldn't trace it. No fingerprints, no leads. Rachel moved across the state after that, changed her phone, her job, even her daughter's school. But she swears she still catches glimpses of him in parking lots, grocery stores, always watching from a distance, smiling that same thin, practiced smile. He thought he was meeting a buyer from Facebook Marketplace. Instead, he opened the door to a nightmare that would follow him home long after the scam was over. The last story is about a man named Ethan Cole. He lived alone in a quiet suburb outside Denver. Working from home as a graphic designer, like a lot of people, he sometimes sold old stuff online for extra cash: phones, monitors, even furniture. In early spring, he listed his old gaming laptop for $900. Wheaton and Orr, someone messaged him on Facebook Marketplace. The profile name was Travis M., with a professional-looking picture and a short bio that read, "Tech reseller, verified buyer." Travis wrote, "I can pick it up tonight. I'll pay cash. Is 9 p.m. okay?" Ethan hesitated. It was late, but the guy sounded polite and professional. He even offered to send a $50 deposit through Venmo. That seemed legit enough. Ethan agreed. At 8:55 p.m., a gray sedan pulled into his driveway. Two men got out, both wearing hoodies. That immediately put Ethan on edge. He opened the door halfway and asked, "Which one of you is Travis?" The taller one stepped forward and smiled. "That's me. Mind if I check the laptop first?" Ethan nodded and handed it over. Travis examined it carefully, asking normal questions about specs, battery life, graphics card. Then he looked up and said, "You said $900, right? Can I give you $1,000 even? You seem like an honest guy." Ethan laughed awkwardly. "Sure, I'm not gonna argue with that." Travis reached into his pocket, and that's when the other guy moved. A sharp hit to the side of Ethan's head sent him sprawling. He felt his ears ringing as one of them grabbed the laptop and sprinted toward the car. "Hey!" Ethan shouted, staggering up. He ran after them, grabbing the back of the car door just as it slammed shut. The tires screeched, dragging him a few feet before he lost his grip and fell to the pavement. He called the police immediately, but by the time they arrived, the car was long gone. He filed a report, but the officer warned him not to expect much. "These scams happen all the time," the cop said. "They'll sell it on Craigslist by morning." Ethan tried to shake it off, But something about the whole encounter kept replaying in his head, the way Travis looked at him before hitting him. That smile. Calm. Like he enjoyed it. 2 nights later, Ethan was in bed when his phone buzzed. A new message on Facebook. From Trabisime. Still think you can catch me. Attached was a photo taken from outside Ethan's house through his bedroom window. He froze. The timestamp showed it had been taken 5 minutes ago. He jumped up, heart hammering, and ripped open his blinds. Not just the still, dark yard under the faint glow of a streetlight. He called the police again. They searched the area but found no one. One of the officers told him to head Somerest and promised to send a patrol car by in the morning. But Ethan didn't sleep that night. Every sound, every creak, made him flinch. Around 3 a.m., he heard it. The unmistakable sound of gravel crunching under tires, a car stopping outside. He peeked through the blinds. The same gray sedan was parked across the street. Headlights off, he dialed 911, whispering what he saw. But before the operator could respond, the car's headlights flicked on and the driver, Isidoro Bennett, a figure stepped out, dressed all in black, walking toward Ethan's house. He dropped the phone and ran to the back door, locking it, turning off every light. The footsteps came closer. A shadow passed across the living room window. Then, a slow, deliberate knock, 3 times. He held his breath. Another knock. Then silence. A minute later, the sound of a car door closing. Then, the engine starting. When police arrived, there were tire tracks in the gravel, and something taped to his front door. A printed photo. It showed Ethan asleep in his bed. The same photo he'd received earlier, only this time, zoomed out, with one horrifying difference. In the corner of the room, barely visible in the shadows, someone was standing there. Ethan moved out of the house that week. He stayed with his sister across town while trying to figure out what to do next. He deleted his Facebook, changed his number, even sold his car, just to feel untraceable. For a while, things were quiet. But then, 2 months later, he got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a small USB drive. He plugged it in, despite his better judgment. There was only one file. A video. It opened with static, then a shaky shot of someone walking through his old house, his living room, his kitchen, even his bedroom. The camera stopped at his bed, and there he was, sleeping. The timestamp read March 18th, 2:37 a.m. The night of the knock. At the end of the clip, the camera turned around. The man holding it wore a black hoodie, the same pale grin. Then he whispered, right into the microphone, "You shouldn't have tried to find me." The screen cut to black. The police took the drive, but no one could trace it. They said it could have been edited or staged. But Ethan knew the truth, because that same night, after the police left, his phone buzzed again. A new message. No profile picture, no name, just one line. "Next time, I won't knock." If you ever plan to sell something online, remember these stories and always meet in public, never alone. You never really know who's on the other side of the screen. If you made it to the end, leave a comment, hit the like button, and make sure you resubscribe, because the next story might just make you rethink who you trust online.